Hello, everybody. This is the man, the myth, the legend, the franchise, the monopoly that is Micky Byggs, right here on Wrestling Spotlight. Today, my next guest is a native New Yorker of Jamaican and Irish descent, an actor with an unparalleled interest in personal fitness, health, physical fitness, martial arts, and amongst many other things. He got his start as a weightlifter and construction worker. He has modeled himself into the textbook Hollywood action star. He has been featured on many international and domestic advertising campaigns, as well as primetime appearances on CBS, NBC, and ABC, such shows as Blue Bloods, Person of Interest, and many more. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome my friend, Sid O'Connell. Sid, welcome to Wrestling Spotlight.
Thanks, Mickey. How are you, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. And like I said, you've got a lot going on your plate. And tell the people about what's going on with your career right now. It's blowing up.
Well, yeah. I mean, I started about 2.5 years ago. Did a couple of background TV shows, and jumped into a bunch of independent feature films. And it's been a great ride, man. I mean, recently I just got done filming 2 days on NBC's Mysteries of Laura with Deborah Messing. Probably one of the greatest experiences I've had to date being on set with them. It's a real awesome and professional crew and staff, man. Plus, I mean, it's prime time, you know. And then besides that, I'm actually working now on my feature film Journeyman. It was written by my buddy Eddie Cardone. And you know, we're going into filming in about a month and a half. And it's about two MMA fighters, one on the rise up and then one on the rise down. And my character's the older fighter, which befriends the younger fighter. And, you know, they start off with a great friendship, and then it, you know, begins a little turmoil somewhere in the middle. They end up not being friends, then they come back together towards the end, but I can't give away the ending exactly. But, you know, we're excited about this project, man. We've been working on it for the last 18, 19 months, me and my buddy Eddie. And we're finally ready to rock and roll, man, ready to hit into full production.
Now,
so
I've seen the trailers from it, and something you had posted up online with that, and it was a motivational piece when you were getting ready to work out. And I have to say, to me, that it looks like it's going to be an incredible film.
Yeah, man. You know what? The funny thing is that you know, we got together. It was just pretty much the fighter the characters who were just the fighters in the movie. And then the little guy, Eddie Sozinski, he's actually playing one of the trainers. But what we wanted to do, our original concept for this was we wanted to do like, you know, quick 15-second to 30-second videos of us like training, getting ready, you know, to, you know, getting ourselves ready for the movie. So I called up my buddy Chris Notarilli, who's been filmmaking for over 10 and a half years, and I called him up and I asked him. I said, "Listen, man, would you mind helping us out? You know, put together these little short videos, because we wanted to give a little something more to the fan page and to the fans that are following us, just a little more content about, you know, the hard work that we're really putting in for this movie. You know, it's not just the acting aspect. You know, we're all playing fighters, and you know." And we all have to really get in shape for this movie, because we want to bring the most realistic film that we can, you know, so everyone will enjoy. So I called him up, and, you know, I spoke to him about it a week before we were filming last Sunday. And, you know, when we got to Queens and we got on set, he just said, "Listen, I got a great idea. I want to turn this thing into like a teaser, you know, like an actual movie teaser." And we were just all like, you know what, let's do it. And we had such a blast. And, you know, literally, we filmed all that in a matter of maybe 3 or 4 hours. Chris took the footage home. He had that thing edited, music, everything put together within 3 hours, man.
Nice.
Unreal. And we've gotten such a great response from everyone in the MMA world, you know, fans of mine, fans of, you know, my buddy who wrote the story. You know, just in general, everyone is really eating this thing up.
Nice,
you know,
nice.
And I'm super proud of it too. I mean, it's literally our first short little teaser. It's just, you know, kind of give everyone what we're trying to do, and a little bit of the story. It doesn't give away a lot, but you know, I mean, it's dark, it's gritty, it's very drama based, and it just came out perfect. Like,
it reminds me of an old pro wrestling vignette.
Yeah, dude. I mean, you know what? It's just, you know, it's amazing. I have to be honest with you. you know, I love, like, I'll watch myself. I'm not a vain person. Like, I do things, I work out, I work hard. I do construction. I focus on acting. I take care of my son, I have no problem watching myself on camera, because if you have a problem with it, you're in the wrong business.
Exactly.
But I got to be honest with you, man. As soon as he sent me the video, I literally spent about 2 hours just watching it over and over and over, because it was just so moving. No, really, you want to call it vain, you want to call it egotistical, I don't give a crap what you call it. It just blew my mind the way that, my buddy Chris just put this amazing teaser together, and it was, how do you not just keep watching it? The music, the build-up, the ending is just, it was phenomenal. I've
watched it 4 times myself already.
Oh, nice. It's literally my motivational video before I go hit the gym, and I'm not even kidding. I watched this thing.
I can see that, because it's just so inspiring. Like you said, it's got the old, the new, and it's got the modern twist to it, but yet the old grittiness of it, and it's like watching a modern version of Rocky almost.
Oh my God! You know what, Mickey? I've heard that from numerous amounts of people that have watched it and said, "Oh my God, this reminds me of modern day Rocky," and that's great. To even be thought of in that category. Because think about when Rocky made, when Stallone made Rocky, did on a shoestring budget. No one knew who really he was. This guy wrote it, directed it, and it's a cult. It's just a classic, man. It's one of the greatest films of all time.
Hell, I don't even think it was a shoestring budget. It was more like a fishing line budget.
Yeah. But look at it, and still stands today.
Exactly.
So what we're hoping to do with this movie is that we make this thing, so good, or at least for us, to tell the story, because it's really, this story has never been told. It's all you see when you think of, mixed martial arts fighters, the UFC Pride guys.
Exactly.
You see the glitz and glamour.
Yep.
You don't know, you never hear of the story of the journeymen.
Exactly.
The guys who are grinding it out every day to try to get to that spot, and some don't make it. They fall into depression, drugs, bad habits, life changes, down, ups and downs. So, my friend Eddie Cardone, who wrote this, literally, this is his world. He's been a trainer for 10, 15 years. He's seen it all, and this is his perspective. This is coming from what he has, throughout his years. This is what he has seen, and he just, and the funny thing is how this whole thing came about, him writing this, because this is his first screenplay he's ever written, and it's amazing that, it was about 2 years ago. It was me, my buddy Derek, the other big guy that's in the movie, and Eddie. We were working on a film by Ken Kushner. It was actually Gus Van Sant production. It's a film called City of Gold, and we were just sitting there, and we're talking before we had to be on set. And Eddie was like, "Oh man, I have this great story in my head." And literally, when I tell you, we talked about it for maybe 25 minutes. When we got done on set, he's driving home and he's just writing it in his head, and he got it down on paper within 2 days.
Nice.
It was a rough draft. It wasn't as crisp as it is now. But the story, the way he told it, and how he wanted to put it out there was amazing. Literally tearjerker for me. And you know what I'm saying? Reading this whole thing, because he really wrote it for me and my buddy Derek.
Right.
And it's for us to be 19 months later. Because there was a point in time where this movie was just kind of dead in its tracks. I was busy with doing construction. He was busy working. Derek wasn't acting. We're all working, and we started talking about it, I think it was 6 months ago. And he was like, I really, we got to get this thing going. So I started pushing it around to people. And,
nice.
I got hurt in December on my construction job where I broke my ribs. So I was out of commission for a while. And, it kind of really put things in perspective. They say sometimes things happen for a reason.
Yep, exactly.
I believe me, and as funny as it may sound, that me getting injured in December made me realize what's more important, or at least to pull back a little bit, because I was really burning the candle at both ends between acting, working, the gym, doing everything I'm trying to do to get my career going in the right direction. Exactly. That I was just running and gunning, and never really relaxing. And then, I got hurt, and it really just made me take a step back and, spend more time with my son because, I'm not working. I'm recovering. So it gave me more time to spend with him to bring us a lot closer together and then really focus on, reading scripts and focus on trying to get this movie out there. And it really, everything has been, ever since December, I have to say I've been blessed. I've been blessed with so many wonderful opportunities from then till now and beyond that I'm just excited about everything that's going on. So I take one day at a time. I don't push anything too hard where I need, oh my God, what's my next thing? Whatever's meant to be is going to be. And I'm just happy. It's been a long road I've had trying to get to this point where I'm at right now, and I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah, it's cool,
who knows what else is going to come from this? And that's the amazing part. Is that you don't know. I know it's only going to be good from now, but you always have to continue working hard too. And that's one thing I don't let up on. And I teach my son every day. He's 14. His dreams and aspirations of becoming a Major League Baseball player. And I told him 6 years ago when he first decided, that's what he said to me, no matter what you do, you have to work hard every day. And by me, at my age, pursuing something, starting at least a couple of years ago, pursuing something that most people only dream about, don't ever get that opportunity, for him to watch me, and he says to me all the time how proud he is of me and, how good of an actor I've become, means the world. And it just shows him that no matter what it is that you want to do in life, you can accomplish anything. I'm never going to tell him, no, that's impossible. That's an impossible for you.
Exactly. You can't do that. You can't discourage somebody. You've got to encourage people not to be self-defeating. And, if you believe you can achieve anything in your life.
And I'm a firm believer of that because, look what I've achieved in 2.5 years.
Exactly.
Actually, it's what I've achieved in my lifetime. It's not even just 2.5 years is where I've, because, as a young person, like we all have, I'm sure we all have screwed up. We all have made major mistakes. You learn from them. I've made a few. I've made a bunch. I'm not ashamed of it. It made me who I am today. I've learned my lesson. It's time to move on and build a better life, and that's what we're doing.
And that's the key. You've got to. You can't accept failure as an option. You have to turn around and take the negatives and find a way to turn those negatives into positives.
And you know what? And that is one thing I have learned to do over the last couple of years. That I have, no matter what it is I'm faced, whether it's a little bit of adversity or major or it's not getting a certain role that I auditioned for because you know what? I always turn that negative into a positive. I didn't get something, you know what, man? It just wasn't my time. The person who got it was their lucky day.
Now, my background is pro wrestling and MMA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, my question for you is, before I actually ask you that question, staying on with this positive aspect of things, it's an acronym that I learned from another pro wrestler that that you could actually pass on to your son, and I'll actually email it to you when we're done with the interview. It's called SmackDown, and it stands for see it, measurable, achievable, compatible, keep it going, do it, own it, write it down now, not tomorrow.
Ooh.
First, you need to see where it is you want to go. It's got to be measurable over a course of time. It's got to be something that's achievable. Don't tell me you want to run the 25-mile marathon and try to do it today. It's not going to happen. It's got to be something that is compatible with your lifestyle. You may have to make changes in your life that make it happen, but you can do it. All you have to do is believe. You have to keep it going every single day like your rituals. You've got to do it. You've got to own it. Make it your own. Write it down. Why? Because if you ever hope to get where it is you want to go, first you need that roadmap. And you want to do it now, not tomorrow, because if you wait until tomorrow, you're going to end up being a day late.
Wow. You know what,
and
man?
That was passed along by the legendary Diamond Dallas Page.
That is amazing. And I got to tell you, man, that is pretty much how I live my life.
Exactly.
I've had a glimpse of something when I first started acting, just a taste of and the first day out in front of the camera, or even just pursuing this is hard enough as it is, I've been fortunate enough to have a great support group behind me. But, that first day I envisioned myself, this is what I want to do. So right. I set a map for myself. I'm going to work as hard as I can and build my reputation and build a resume and put in the hard work to get to where I want to go. Now, I'm a long way from where I want to be, but I'm on the right path.
And that's all that matters, is that you're on the right path. And
I'm totally on the right path.
And like I said, you know, as my background is pro wrestling and MMA, I retired as an MMA champion. Now, my question to you is, from a standpoint of acting, how was it to choreograph an MMA fight scene for you?
Well, we haven't really had a chance to choreograph much of the fight sequences that we're going to have in the movie. You know, the beauty of it is that, my friend Eddie and Derek, they're both fighters. They both have a very, a very decent background, a very well background in jiu-jitsu and boxing and kickboxing. When it comes time for us to coordinate, I've been blessed with two great friends, Derek and Eddie, and they're going to help me prepare myself and get myself fully ready so that I am ready for this film. And I have no doubt, like, these guys know what they're doing. Like I said, my friend Eddie, he teaches at American Top Team from White Point in Queens.
Okay.
Yeah, man, he just, I trust them. I trust them both. They're not gonna, this movie is so important for us, on all aspects, the realism, the fight realism, the drama, the characters, that we're putting everything we have into this. And I'm not a slacker in any way. In everything I do, I've always given 110%. So, getting ready for this, man, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking for the grinding it out, the sweat, the tears, because I know I'm going to be hurting. Listen, normally I wouldn't say this, but dude, I'm 44 years old. And your body, my body isn't. I'm not built like a 21-year-old. My joints hurt, my elbows hurt, my knees hurt. But
I understand.
when you're so determined and driven, to do something great with your life, you're going to take every chance you can to make it the way you want to make it. And no matter what it is you do, you're going to give it everything you have. And that's the way I live my life. I'm not a partier. I gave all that up years ago. I don't go out. Everything I do, man, I'm so focused. Taking care of my son is my top priority. Building a better life for us. I know for a fact I love the construction business, but I've been hurt way too many times in the last 12 years. Okay. I have an opportunity, to do something great with my life, and acting is it. And not just with acting. I mean, even when you get to a place where you feel that you start to become successful. I'm a grounded person. I want to get to that point someday where I'm able to give back, because, you don't even, half my life story isn't even being told, man. It's been a long road. I know what pain is about. I know what loss is about. I know what, losing everything you have is about and gaining it back. I want to be able to get to the point sometime in life where I'm able to give back, show people that, no matter what it is you want to do, it's there. It's reachable. You just have to work for it.
Exactly. See, the important thing about being successful is, even if you lose it all, yeah, it hurts, but you know what it took to get you there the first time. Yeah. So you can just recreate that and fix the mistakes that you made to make you lose it the first time. You fix those mistakes and say, you know what, tomorrow's another day.
And that's what I say. Tomorrow's always another day, man.
Worry. It's an exaggeration of the imagination. Why worry about the things we cannot control?
Yeah, I've learned that too, because I up a couple of years ago, that's all I did was stress. When I first started acting, I didn't get a job, or if I was like, actually 2 years ago, I was literally, and this is as sad as this may sound, but I look at it now. 2 years ago, I ran into such a financial downfall that I've never been that broke in my life. And as sad as this may sound, and I've never really told anyone about this, 2 years ago on Christmas, every year up until this point, from the day my son was born, I've always been financially okay, that, I've always given him the best Christmas, because I believe, holiday time, hey, your kid deserves the world. If you could do it, you do it. 2 years ago, I was so broke, and it was heartbreaking to me that I literally had to borrow a tree from a friend. I had to borrow $100 from a friend so that I could buy him a gift. And it literally had me in tears to, saying to myself, how did I let myself get to this point? And it was out of my control. But, because I worked hard for so many years trying to build something for us, that bad things happen. It just, I ended up in that kind of, that situation. And then I look at myself, 2 years from now, and last year was a great year for me. This year is an even better year for me. I look back and I say, wow, 2 years ago, look where I was and look where I am now.
Yep.
So I overcame it. I didn't let it beat me up. I didn't let it drag me down. I didn't let it destroy what I had to do for myself. I just kept pushing and pushing, eventually knowing that something great is going to happen, and things are.
Yeah.
And we're better off.
You need to write an autobiography.
You know what? It's something that I've thought of. I think at some point in time, I do, because I do have a really great life story. I've come from, my mom, God rest her soul, she passed away, almost 11 years ago from cancer. I spent most of my, from like the age of 10 to like 11, I was in a foster home because, my mom was, somewhat abusive, but, it's not to her fault. It was just the way they were raised, Jamaican family, they're old school, she just, it was rough, and, I overcame all that stuff, growing up, it actually sat on my shoulders, throughout my 20s and, part of my 30s that I just walked around hating everything. The world sucked and it was just bad. And then you wake up, and before my mom passed away, I think 2 years before she passed away, we built our relationship. I miss her every day. When most people say, something good happens to you, you thank the Lord. The first person I'm always thanking is my mom, because she's up there. She'll thank God for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm blessed in many ways, and I know my mom is up there, always looking down at me, has to be smiling because I'm doing the right thing. I'm not living a bad life. I'm living a good life. I'm doing the right thing. I walk a straight path. I'm not trying to veer off and do stupid crap anymore. And I'm taking care of my son, and that's my rock right there.
That's important. That's very important. Now, I do have a question for you. One of your other shows that I mentioned in your introduction, my father-in-law happens to be a huge fan of, and that's Person of Interest. What was that like for you?
Well, you know what? Person of Interest. What did I do? I did background on that show. And I forgot because it was so long ago. I don't even think it aired or they cut my scene out, but it was like, it is. When I first started, you do, it's funny. But, when you do background, me personally, and this is just my personal opinion, it was great when I first started, and I don't knock it, because everyone, every production, you need background. But,
right.
In this business, you have a lot of people that don't take the careers, or maybe they don't have the opportunities like some do, but I believe if you've been doing background for 5 years, and that's where you are at 5 years down the road. Maybe it's time to choose, to make a different choice. Maybe to put no, and it's not I'm not saying it like in a negative way. I'm just saying like, you have to want it, man. You know what I'm saying? And
exactly.
I did that for 3 months, and personally, when I did those background, it was like it literally was the biggest thing for me. But then as you move along and you start doing feature films and you start getting bigger roles and you start seeing the possibility of where you want to be as an actor, you have to take it serious. And it's something I take extremely serious, and that's not a place where I want to ever be again. And I'm never going to go back to doing background. I belong in front of the camera. I don't belong behind somebody. I want to be in front of it. I want people to be behind me. But there are people where, it's kind of, they brag about something of that nature, but they've been doing it for so long. And I understand, like, it's one thing to brag, like you shouldn't be bragging. It's one thing to be proud of what you're doing. Like, you're working, you're trying to get there. You know what I'm saying? But there are people who, I'm on set and I'm working with this person, but that if you see the show and you catch a glimpse of them, it's like the camera just passes you.
Right.
And,
I understand what you mean.
And you're boasting about, like something you've actually really done, but not really.
Yeah.
It's kind of sad, to be honest with you. And that's not where that's not where I want my career to end up. That's not how I look at my career. Like I said, I take everything very serious. When I'm on set, it's go time. This is business. You can have fun when the cameras stop rolling, but when the cameras are on, man, and you're on set, man, it's business.
Has anyone ever compared you to any other actors out there?
Oh, yeah. I get compared to The Rock. And I kid you not, on a daily basis. There's
the one that came to mind for me, and actually I shared it with my wife, but one
Batista?
that came to mind. Who?
Batista?
Nope. Vin Diesel.
Okay. Oh, well, I used to get that a lot until The Rock got big, and now it's a whole different. Now it's The Rock. Oh my God, dude, you look like The Rock. You're like The Rock. I can compare, and it's what, man. To be compared to either or is probably the most awesome compliment you can get as a person. Because they're really, those guys are very humble human beings. Their careers have just they're monsters in the movie world. I would love at one day to be up there with them. And I take it as an awesome compliment. I mean, the funny thing is, my son Jaden, he's 14. He plays baseball. I help coach. And I've been coaching him since he's 5 years old. And all his friends now, and even from back then, they all see me now, and I hear it from everyone. Hey, Jaden, your dad's like The Rock. Oh my God, your dad's like The Rock. Jaden's dad's like The Rock. And it's hysterical, man.
That reminds me though.
He gets a kick out of it, though. My son Jaden gets the biggest kick out of it. He thinks it's like the coolest thing, I'm like, well, it's a great thing to be compared to him. I just like a little bit like that, a third of that money.
Yeah, there you go, exactly. Well, that's like me when I first started in the wrestling industry. Why? I mean, I'm not Puerto Rican. Or, I'm not Spanish descent, but why people always said, when I first started in the wrestling industry, oh, look, it's Fat Joe. I'm like, wait a minute, no, it's the wrong industry, man, and I'm not Puerto Rican.
I looked at your cover picture, man, and you know what, dude? There is a little bit of a resemblance.
And I said, okay, then I had Matt Pinfield, I'm like, really? Come on, man. So that's when I was like, no, not even close. But you learn to admire stuff like that because, like you said, it's that comparison. It's like, wow, somebody thinks that that much about me to compare me to somebody else like that.
Yeah, I think it's great. I've never ever not once said it's a bad thing. I mean, dude, I get on. I can get on the bus heading into Manhattan on for an audition. I can get on the subway train, or I can drive to the supermarket. I can go to the gym. Wherever I go, there is, every single day, there's one person who says, "Oh my God, dude, you know who you remind me of?" And I always go, "Who?" And they go, "Oh my God, dude, you're like The Rock. You're like Dwayne Johnson." I'm like, "Yeah." And then you see my big smile. I'm like, "Yeah, I get it. That's awesome. It's no problem."
The latest one that I've been compared to and I absolutely love is Butterbean.
Are you serious?
It's like, dude, you realize that Butterbean is like a foot taller than I am and outweighs me by 200 pounds. I mean, Christ.
Oh my God, that's hysterical, dude. I wouldn't say that.
Eric Butterbean, he's okay and all, but no.
Yeah. Well, again, it all falls under what people's perception is. Some people have bad perception, some people have a great perception.
Exactly.
There needs to be that middle ground where you can be like, well, maybe not.
So, other than Journeyman and paying it forward and all all this good stuff you're doing with your son and being such an intricate part of his life, what else is going on in your life as far as the acting career is going? What else, other projects do you have going on?
Well, there's been a few, again, in the span of 2.5 years, Journeyman is literally I would say 18th movie that I'm going to be working on. I'm also actually a part of another production that my buddy Emilio Rosa wrote, who we actually have a TV series that we're waiting to start up on. It's actually called The Familia. And he actually wrote another film called Existence, which they begin, I believe they're going to start filming sometime in September. But a lot of the projects that I have worked on in the past, a lot of them, other than this movie called Pain that I did with director Steve Rahman, which was a great role for me. I played this mobster, bodyguard named Sid. He's kind of like a real badass, tough guy, heartless in so many ways. And it was actually, we had a few viewings last year. I believe he's putting it into a couple film festivals this year. It got, great reviews from people. Looking forward to see where that will go. But there's also, there's been a few, man, that I don't think that's ever really going to see the light of day. And if it does, I have no clue when, because, I've worked with some filmmakers, on some, great stories, great filming. I just, I don't know when they plan on releasing anything. It's kind of just up in the air. So what I have done and what I have trained my mind to kind of do over the course of time is that, whatever's to be with these films is going to be. I can't dwell on the past. I can't wait, for people to say, when is this coming out? Because, I have to look to what's the next thing I'm going to be doing.
Exactly.
And I just keep looking ahead. I just keep my, my focus on ahead. And, also at the same time, I'm actually, last summer I was actually working on another film, which is still, we're supposed to head back, I believe, sometime this summer. It's called Vermilion, where I play a vampire, from Egyptian descent. He's about 2,000 years old. It's actually a really awesome role. I'm literally, probably 95% of the movie. We had to stop production on that last fall because we were running behind. And the movie really takes place within a 5-day span. So, continuity and so on, we had to stop production, and I guess I believe we're supposed to be picking it up sometime this spring, and the summer. But it's a great story also. My friend Veronica Vargas and Ron Fulmer, and Damien Vargas, her husband, they wrote this story. It's a great, great story, great screenplay. We've had so much fun filming it in the past. I'm really looking forward to getting back on set and finishing this, because I do believe we only have 9 to 10 film days left. I just like to get things started and finished, and then move on to the next thing. So,
Right.
I'm looking to be at least a little busier this year than I was last year.
Right.
And there's no telling that once the show Mysteries of Laura airs, and it's actually airing, I found out, May 20th.
Nice.
NBC, 8 o'clock at night, Eastern time. She
plugs. You gotta love them.
I gotta plug it. There's no telling what's gonna come next after this airs. Because I do have 3 pretty decent scenes and one really great scene with Deborah Messing. Head on with her. So the possibilities are endless. I believe it's gonna open up many doors for me. Just a matter of time, but until it happens, I'm just going to keep grinding it out and doing what I need to do.
That's all you can do. That's all you can do, and hope for the best.
Yeah, and that's it. And another thing too. I mean, I do get a lot of offers for a lot of films. A lot of independent films, and I've had to turn down a lot because they're. One, there is, most people, these guys don't have a budget. And I get it. Yeah, I mean, everybody that wants to be a filmmaker is trying to do something great. And, you don't have a budget. But at the same time, I can't let myself go backwards and keep telling people, oh, yeah, I'm going to work for free. Because when I have to take off and I have to be on set for 2 days or 3 days, or it's the movie, you could be filming a movie, just on weekends for 3 months. That's taking time away from my family. It's I have to travel. I have to come out of my pocket, and I'm not getting anything in return. One thing for me is I don't need any more footage for actors reel. I have enough footage over the last 2 years,
Right.
to keep me going for a while. And now that I'm a SAG actor, I can't work for free, man. It doesn't.
Right.
Free doesn't put food on my table.
Mm-hmm.
Free doesn't put clothes on my son's back.
Yeah,
And I've had to turn down a lot of work, and because it doesn't suit me, and I'm going to stick to my guns on it because I'm just not going to work for free anymore.
Right, and you got to do what's right for you and your family.
Yeah, if you want my talent, I'm not the best actor, but for what I do, I'm really damn good at what I do.
Right.
And if you're looking for that type of actor and that type of presence on camera, and if you don't have a budget, well, it's not for me. I wish you the best of luck for anyone, but it's just not for me. And I'm looking at the bigger picture. I'm looking where I want to go, not where I need, not where I am right now. I'm looking at where I need to get to. Where's that next step going to take me?
Mm-hmm.
And I can't. There's so many people out there that just want to jump on every project and work. Just constantly keep doing it. And you have to be particular about what you want to do, what kind of roles you want, and what kind of actor you really want to be.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of people out there just, okay, I'm just an actor. But what kind of actor are you? Like, where do you see yourself? What kind of movies do you want to be? And what do you want to represent?
Mm-hmm.
Me, I'm a huge action junkie, dude. I grew up watching Schwarzenegger and Stallone, and as funny as it may sound, those are my two favorite actors of all time.
I know.
Because I grew up watching them. I want to be in action films. I want to, excuse me for saying this, I want to fuck shit up. I want to have good fight scenes. I want to have great fight scenes, explosions, handguns, battling. And in between all that, have great dialogue.
Yep.
I'm not going to be the guy that stands in the corner, with my arms crossed going, ugh. That's not me. I've done enough of that. Those days are done.
Yeah, I understand. See, me, I've always wanted to be like Steven Seagal, minus the running scenes. Because every time he runs, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. It's something wrong there.
Something wrong with his hands.
No, I don't know. I just like he's trying to be a bionic man, but it just doesn't quite make it or something. I don't know.
No, and I grew up watching his Van Damme. These guys. I loved all their movies as a kid. As a young adult, growing up watching them. That's just something that that's the kind of guy that's the actor I want to be. And eventually, it could change because I can get into comedy. I could do a little more drama, and I can do all that. But
right.
You really, if you want to get noticed, and as big as I am, I'm 6'5", I'm 265 pounds. I can move around. That's what people want to see. You want to see that big dude.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to be in a movie with The Rock being his nemesis. I'm going head to head with this dude who probably, beat my ass, but whatever. I'll take a beating.
You see Sid get a rock bottom in the middle of a movie set.
and you know what, man? I'll take it like a champ.
There you go.
I'll take it because if it makes him look good, it's going to make me look good.
And that's the same philosophy we have in pro wrestling. Whatever you do, make the other person look good because that makes you look better. And
listen.
The new guys don't. The new people in the industry, whether it's acting, wrestling, whatever the case may be, because it's all relevant to one another.
Yeah.
They don't get the concept of making the other person look good makes you look better. It makes you look. If the person goes to deliver that rock bottom, say, and you get 15 feet in the air with that rock bottom and you take it, damn. Did he really just lift that guy that high? And,
exactly.
And then even more so, they're saying, damn, did he just get up after that?
Well,
you don't realize.
No. And here's a funny story. During I believe it's one of the last shoot days that we had on my film Vermilion, on our film Vermilion. I had a big fight scene to do with one of the main like criminal, the main nemesis during the movie. And literally when I tell you, this guy is about 6 feet tall, probably weighs 160, 170 pounds. I literally had to throw myself around on the gravel through like a wooden cart with wheels, to make it look like he just literally tossed me around because his character is stronger than mine. And I took a beating. And you know what, man? That's just what you do.
Exactly.
Sometimes you have, and I put my body through the ringer. It was okay. Exactly. I got up, I shook it off. But, when you see it on camera, man, you're like, yo, this guy just really destroyed him.
That's why it's called acting.
Yeah, you have to act. You have to have fun with it. You're not always going to be the guy that beats up everybody. You're going to have to take a few punches. You're going to have to you're going to have to die or take a pounding, getting blasted.
Exactly. And like I said, the younger generation in the entertainment industry don't realize that. They especially like in the wrestling industry, they don't realize that if you're the jobber, the guy that gets paid to lose all the time, that's building your career up. Some of the biggest superstars of today started out as the jobber.
Yeah, well, listen, man, you have to start somewhere.
Exactly.
Nobody ever starts at the top. You have to start. You have a starting point.
Exactly.
And you build, and you work your way up from that point on. And as you build, your reputation, you build credibility for yourself, and it gets better. And I've seen it personally within my career. Everything has gotten better.
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind dying in a film as long as it's a good way to die. As long as you feel the pain, as long as you feel the pain that I'm feeling, then I did my job.
Exactly.
If you have to cringe or you have a tear in your eye because, oh my God, I can't believe, or he's going to get it. then I did my job. We did our job as filmmakers. We did our job as entertainers.
As long as it's not like, you bastard, you killed Kenny, you're fine.
Yeah. I don't want to go out like that.
I mean, that's just like sad.
That's bad.
So listen, I know you're very busy, and I don't want to keep you on too long. Any last words, that you could tell the fans about, if they wanted to get involved in acting, what they should do, the steps they should take, or just some words of encouragement.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of people ask me, how to get started. The best way I can say is, I mean, you either take up some acting classes. I mean, some are affordable, some are not. Or you could just kind of get that on-the-job training, man. There is a place in Manhattan that's called Casting Networks, and it goes. I mean, for people who don't, because here's the thing, you could say you want to be an actor, you can want to be an actor, but when you get in front of that camera and that camera's on you, you cannot afford to freeze. Really, and it happens. I mean,
Oh, it does. I know, that's why I'm laughing.
Yeah, there are people that, and speaking for myself, that the first day I got on camera, man, I knew this is what I was meant to do, because it didn't faze me at all. Like, I loved every minute of it, but there are people out there that, it's hard to adapt, to that kind of, being on camera, focusing, because again, you got so much going in your mind. Am I going to remember my lines, or do I have lines, or what do I have to do? Am I going to, my reaction is going to be right for the, for the person who's delivering their lines?
Exactly.
My best advice is that, try to go to an acting school, a somewhat credible one. You don't. I mean, there are a lot out there. There are a lot of bullshit ones out there, and there are a lot of great ones out there. Find one within your reason, your budget. And just take a few acting lessons. Take a few acting classes. You'd be surprised, how good it works, and you'll feel like this is what I'm meant to do. Or you could take another route, and you can do a little background work. You can start there, kind of get the feel of how productions are run, and if this is something that you really want to do, and if you feel it's something you really want to do, then put all your energy into it and pursue it.
Exactly.
Don't half-ass it. Give it everything you have. Work hard, because if you work hard, the rewards are better, and they'll come to you.
Exactly.
You just have to go out there, and you have to, like you said before, you have to see it. You have to make a roadmap. You have to have a plan. Attack and execute. And that's pretty much, I would say that's the best advice I could possibly give. And if you really love it, man, you're going to give it everything you have, and you're going to enjoy every minute of it. It's a journey. It's an awesome and amazing journey to be able to entertain people and chase and follow your dreams and see it become successful.
Yep. And I mean, that's something I've always wanted to do since I was 3, is be in the entertainment industry. And I've been doing it 23 years later.
And that's awesome. You know what I'm saying? That's fantastic. I mean, I never thought I'd be doing something like this. I mean, I was told as a kid, oh yeah, you're such a clown, or you have such an awesome look. And at 21, 22 years old, I was skinny as a rail.
And who knew that someday you'd be doing what you're doing now?
And nobody, not even me.
But through hard work and everything, you've honed your career, and you've become the person you become. And one thing that I like to tell everybody that comes across me is like, oh, do I really want to do that? Do I want to put if you really want it, then you're going to put the effort into it, because success only comes before work in the dictionary.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right. You have to work. You have to work hard, man. No matter what it is you do, you really have to go out there, and you have to put that work in. You can't jump off your, where you want to be. I mean, everyone gets a little sidetracked from time to time. We all do. But you have to get your focus back to where you want to be. And when you get there, don't think of it that's your end point. Look beyond that and keep going. I always say this, and I say it to my friends, dude, when I make it to the top, I'm going to put another, when I make it to the top of that mountain, well, I'm going to grab another mountain, I'm going to slap that bitch right on top of that one, I'm going to climb that son of a bitch. And I'm going to keep going until, there's no place else for me to go.
Exactly. And every now and then, look up to the top of that mountain. because that top of it is that goal that you're looking for. And
Yeah.
if for whatever reason you keep looking back down at the bottom of the mountain and you never reach the top, then reevaluate your goal, because maybe that wasn't quite your goal to begin with.
Yeah. Well, I always say too, man, never look behind you.
Exactly.
What's behind you is the past, man, and that's where
And
it's
you
gonna
can't
stay,
change it. It's done and over with.
Exactly. Today is, right now is now. Yesterday is history. Tomorrow's the future. Let's keep it going.
One thing that I tell a lot of people is along those same lines. It's tomorrow's done. You can't change that. So don't worry about what happened yesterday.
Can't.
Don't worry about tomorrow so much as you worry about today, because tomorrow hasn't happened yet. Worry about today, because today is what allows you to mold your tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, you know what? What you're doing today is only going to help you get to tomorrow.
Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
that's exactly right to the point.
Any final words for the fans, brother?
Well, listen, I appreciate if everyone's support. I had such an awesome time talking to you. I wish everybody a great evening. God bless everybody. I love everyone who follows me, and I appreciate everyone that supports me in my journey and that follows everything that I do. You guys are amazing. I love everybody. And that's pretty much it, man. And Micky, bro, thank you so much.
Not a problem.
For allowing me to have some time. Yeah, I greatly appreciate it, bro. Thank you so much. And we'll have to do this again, because I think we can dive deeper into at least a little bit of my life. I think
Absolutely.
people will be interested in it. Yeah, I think people will be a little more interested in knowing more about, where I've come from and, where we're going.
Absolutely. Not a problem. You can schedule that anytime at all.
Yeah. Awesome.
All right, brother. Well, I want to thank you for being on. It's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. And, one of the main reasons, like I said, my background being wrestling and MMA, is that's one of the main reasons I wanted you on, because I know the movie Journeyman is about that MMA aspect. And I wanted the fans to hear something a little bit about something, on the other side, like you said, the grit, the journey that it takes to get to the main stage, if you will.
It's a tough journey for these guys, and you'll see, once we're done with this movie, by the grace of God, we're going to be able to get it out where people can see and people will enjoy it, and you'll see, you'll see, you'll feel what these characters are going through. You'll get to know the story, that it's not all glitz and glam.
Exactly.
The struggles that these guys through, and I believe once we're done, everyone is going to love this when we're done with it.
And I'm looking forward to it. And hey, when you guys get ready to do your premiere, let me know, man. I'd love to come up and cover it.
My pleasure, brother. I would definitely keep you in mind, man.
So, anyways, brother, it's been great. It's been a pleasure. Like I said, I know you're busy. I'd like to thank you once again for being on the show with me.
Well, I'd like to thank you, and it was an extreme honor of mine, man, to be on the show. So thank you so much.
Not a problem, man. Ladies and gentlemen, the man, the myth, the legend, the franchise, the monopoly that is Micky Byggs. We'll see you next time.